Welcome to Crypto Panda's exclusive AMA on Binance Live. Hello crypto enthusiasts, we're thrilled to have you join us for another exciting Ask Me Anything session. Today we have a special guest ready to share insights, answer your burning questions, and dive deep into the world of cryptocurrency. Today's AMA features a distinguished guest ready to unravel the mysteries of the crypto realm. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a curious newcomer, this is your chance to engage with industry experts and gain valuable insights. Our special guest brings a wealth of experience and knowledge, promising a dynamic discussion covering market trends, upcoming projects, and the latest breakthroughs in the crypto space. Your questions are the heartbeat of this event, so don't hesitate to drop them in the chat.
First up, let's welcome everybody to our AMA for today. So hello everyone, hello Crypto Panda community, welcome back to another Binance Live AMA. And this Binance Live AMA is also broadcasted on X, so you can watch this AMA on both channels. So for today's AMA, we will be getting to know more about XWorld, specifically about the ATMC program and other eco-related activities. So once again, for today, I am joined by Mr. Jack. So Mr. Jack is the Secretary of the General of the World Free Trade Zone Federation, and he is also the Executive Director of the General of the World Blockchain Organization and the Global Chief Advisor of XWorld and the founder of the XWorld Foundation. So we're very pleased to have Mr. Jack with us today. So hello, Mr. Jack, and welcome to Crypto Panda.
Hi, how are you?
We're doing very great, Mr. Jack. Thank you for asking, and we're really excited to get to know about XWorld. Thank you so much, by the way, for being our lovely guest for today. Thank you for the time and effort it took you to make this AMA possible. Thank you very much.
All right, well, thanks for having me here.
So before we start in getting to know more about XWorld, so is it okay, Mr. Jack, if we start with a little introduction? So just kindly introduce yourself to the people listening with us today. Tell us something about you, your experiences in the space, and your involvement, of course, in XWorld.
Sure. Just as you just mentioned, actually, I began advising for XWorld last year, and XWorld is specifically building a consensus mechanism, type of a consensus organization whose primary purpose is to drive more adoption for World Coin, World Chain Initiative, and the other technologies that are going behind that. So it's doing that in a manner that has been consistent with crypto mining, all right, and also has gathered a lot of followers, a lot of really good community. And because of the momentum that was gained last year in this process, we have now come, the initiative for ATMC is being brought up and will soon be launched out into the blockchain, along with its functions, its uses, etc., which will help to further expand the community and help the community be able to reach its goals. Some of those goals include more access to many more international markets, more types of derivatives that can be useful to the community in creating more community, also in creating more access to different markets, etc. So XWorld has been developing quite well in a number of different markets, and we're looking forward in 2025 to greatly expanding the number of geographical regions which we will be hitting, including in Asia and in Europe, all around the globe. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sir Jack, for that lovely introduction. So now let us start in getting into the closer details, of course, about XWorld, about the ATMC program as well, like you mentioned. So first off, my first question for you, Mr. Jack, is can you explain to us how can ATMC build a competitive advantage in the global DeFi circuit? And also, to support the answer, what are the unique features of ATMC in the current DeFi competition?
Right. Yeah. You know, it is definitely one of the fastest growing areas in the whole space. And there's no question that there's no lack of competition. However, simply because of all of the different options and the different types of technologies out there, I don't think there's enough competition yet, because in reality, the solutions for the future haven't really been identified, and it's not something that's mainstream yet. And so I would say that there's going to be a lot more competition in the future. The thing that ATMC has and is focusing on, something that probably the whole market hasn't even paid attention to yet, because most of these blockchains out there, most of these platforms, or whatever you want to call them, these initiatives, technologies, whatever, they were all built in a pre-AGI world. So World Chain and World Coin, as we know, the World Project, is built around the future where humans and AI will be interacting in a situation where humans will really have to be verified and proven to be human. Otherwise, you won't be able to tell who is human and not, because AI will be so developed that, for example, my image here on this computer screen talking to you, Caitlin, could easily be an agent or an AI produced individual instead of a real person. Now, when we're talking about the interactions and transactions and things like that, and then it gets even more complicated. So currently, all of the, I would say, other than the World Project itself, which was partly founded by Sam Altman, the founder of ChatGPT, of OpenAI and ChatGPT, they envisioned a future where AI would be ubiquitous. It would be in everything. It would be way more influential than it is right now, and obviously way more powerful. However, all of these current DeFi protocols, the whole market really, and all of the blockchains that we have out there, they were all built in a pre-AGI world. So the advantage that we have, or for your question, what is the maybe competitive advantage that we have, is that we're already, by aligning ourselves with WorldCoin, World Chain, the technology of World ID, and the completely human network, where we can guarantee everybody in this network is all human for sure. We're starting with that in mind, in building in what we're doing. So we believe that will be very, very key in the future. And as AI becomes more and more influential, there will hit a tipping point where it will not only be more valuable, but it will be completely necessary.
Thank you so much, Sir Jack, for that lovely answer. I believe that is something very impressive to know about ATMC as well, characterizing all of those competitive advantages that makes you like a one step forward to the current competition that we can see. So thank you very much for that. So moving forward, right, let us try to connect the relationship between the ATMC and the LDK. So, Mr. Jack, for the people who who may still have a little confusion in this, can you explain as well how does the XWorld ecosystem and ATMC empower each other?
The XWorld ecosystem, as I was saying, is it's a consensus building mechanism where people can refer other people. They can utilize their own influence to build a community, and then that community's production is also linked to their own. That community's influence is linked to their own production, their own hash power as far as mining is concerned. So people were able to build large groups of mining rigs that can help them to receive two things. One is WLD, and the second is ATMC. So that's the ATMC is basically the platform token for XWorld. And as this technology gets built out, as these use cases are able to be established, then it will greatly increase the productivity of the whole platform, and especially the profitability of the whole platform. There will be multiple ways for the platform to reward the community in sustainable ways. So people right now in the first year, I think that XWorld launched, it was really launched kind of around the aura, if you will, of WLD. Of last time this year, there was no world chain. There was a lot of the technology that is being built out right now and being announced even wasn't around. It wasn't even thought up of, or maybe it was thought up of yet, but not announced. Who knows? The important thing is that in this industry, things are developing at very rapid speeds. And the XWorld community is something that allows normal people to be able to use their own time and their own resources with a very low level, a low entry barrier, if you will, to connect and utilize and be rewarded off of these future technologies, which, there's no question they'll be changing the world.
Thank you so much, Sir Jack. I think that totally gave a clearer understanding and a better understanding for the people, especially in regard to the understanding the background about ATMC and XWorld as well. Thank you so much for that. So moving forward, we are also very curious about the XWorld ecosystem. So, Mr. Jack, can we get some updates about the current progress of the XWorld ecosystem? Currently, can you also provide what are the application scenarios as well available?
Yeah, okay. So the ecosystem itself, there's the application that we have is downloadable by anybody, anywhere, and then it's kind of like a DeFi wallet or something like that. Once you download it, then you would have your seed phrases, which give you permanent access to the application. And in the application, there is a wallet. There's also ways that people can stake USDT in combination with ATMC and USDC to begin mining. That's the major function. And then they can also refer through QR code or through their own ID number to build their mining rigs and go through qualification for higher hash powers, which would mean a higher rate of productivity. And so we've been able to see a lot of people from all different walks of life. Some people who we find a lot of people out there, some of them may even know about WorldCoin, or they might have bought it before, but they don't really know about it. So we have a very effective education system to help more people understand about this industry, about crypto mining, also about the main proponents and future trends that go behind WorldCoin, and also obviously the positive factors pushing the value of ATMC. So this is something that people has created a lot of energy, a lot of positive reaction in the marketplace. And we're seeing requests from all over the globe for seminars or for more information, for more webinars like this, really around the clock. So we have brought on a new marketing team that is producing more materials that will be useful for the community in doing promotion. And we're working on different types of promotions on a monthly basis to encourage and help the miners go out and create more hash power for their productivity.
Thank you, Mr. Jack, for that. That sounds very informative and very exciting to know as well. Thank you very much. So, another question that I want to ask Mr. Jack, right, is we know in the DeFi space, right, the centralization, it is highly emphasized with the governance mechanisms that is being applied. So, Mr. Jack, can you tell us what is the future governance mechanism for ATMC? And also, will there be a DAO mechanism to allow the community to have more decision-making power?
Yeah, Caitlin, that's a really good question, because part of the whole function behind ATMC is to bring the DAO mechanism into the community. And as we have more and more influential mining builders who are able to get top hash powers, like six-star hash power, 7-star hash power, etc., like that, then we have a number of different initiatives that we're bringing in to the community to make the technology itself and, as you're saying, the governance become a completely digital autonomous organization where it's operating more and more independently, completely decentralized. Now, we had a major update that happened the end of last year and was being implemented in the first quarter of this year. Hopefully will be completely finished by this first quarter, the end of March. But that has taken the whole operating system to the next level of independence, of decentralization, so that the whole system is not completely 100% dependent upon centralized withdrawals. So basically, what is able to happen is cash outs can happen almost, and in some communities, it's happening 100% without any support from the centralized finance of the platform. So that's the first step, but really we're moving in this direction very, very strongly, and that's part of the goal for this year, is for the community itself, the whole ecosystem, all of the members, to become really the complete owners and operators of the whole platform, of the whole system.
Thank you very much, Sir Jack. We're actually very delighted to know about your move on decentralization as well, your stand. So thank you so much for that. So now let's move forward to another specific topic, and let us talk about the Web3 trends. So, Mr. Jack, I know that we all can observe this right now in the space, right? Web3 combined with AI, or artificial intelligence, it's a really hot trend nowadays, right? So, Mr. Jack, can you tell us how can ATMC combine AI technology in order to improve or elevate the overall DeFi experience?
Well, yeah, Caitlin, that's something that's happening, like we say, at light speed. And I would say that the end of this year will be totally different than anything right now. The way AI is going to be interacting with blockchain, with DeFi. Right now, people can get on in AI and they can be able to develop applications, dApps, apps, software. They can be able to do all sorts of things that they could never do before on their own unless they were specifically trained in skills and skill sets and in technology that would allow them to develop those things. You can now go on and just by prompting, by voice, there are different applications that you can go and you can say, look, help me develop this type of a web page. I want it to have all of these different features. I want it to be world first class, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, whatever. And then you can press a button and you can sit there and you can literally wait. It depends upon your computing power. But you can wait 5 minutes, you can wait 10 minutes, you could maybe wait a couple of minutes, and you can have something developed that would have taken you not hours, days, weeks, months. This is what we're seeing happen to Web3, Web2, all sorts of different things. However, there are technologies right now being developed that will enable the same type of function to be applicable and to happen through Web3, through blockchain, and through DeFi. And I think that will be one of the turning points that helps this whole market really blow open and become mainstream. And I think that's going to happen somewhere like around the end of this year, beginning of next year, within the next year, maybe 18 months out. So that's really, really super exciting. And it's going to change everything. It's really going to change everything. Of course, people are starting to open up their eyes right now to all of the different ways that AI can potentially take away their jobs, or that can enhance what they can do. We have all sorts, just so many examples that you can't even number them all anymore. But it's just happening every single day. It's just happening every single day. Now, I have seen some technologies that have been in development in blockchain for the last 5-6 years that have been waiting for this point in time for the arrival of AI, because some things can't be done all alone. We're talking about multiple different technologies getting together and then exploding into something that's going to really change the world like never before.
Very interesting. Thank you, Mr. Jack, for that fantastic answer. And moving forward, before we explore more, because you mentioned earlier about the world coin as well. So we're gonna be digging deeper into that later on. But before we head to that, I'll just have one last question about the basically in the general market nowadays. So, Mr. Jack, moving forward, we know basically in the space, right? There would always be like potential challenges that would arise. So, Mr. Jack, can you tell us how does ATMC respond to the challenges and the opportunities being brought by the development of Layer 2? And also, will ATMC consider integrating an L2 solution to improve the transaction efficiency and to reduce the gas fees as well? Let's say maybe in another point of time in the future.
Well, I think kind of as we got into a little bit earlier, WorldCoin and the World Project itself is creating an environment that is based on the uniqueness of every human being, the uniqueness of every human being being able to operate in a DeFi environment, a DeFi technology, and free of gas, so that you can, you can prove you're proven as a human being. Then there are all sorts of benefits to being a human being. One of those, the biggest benefit to being a human being, is in the future, human beings won't have to work for the sake of making money. If we can take and reallocate, redistribute, if you will, the wealth that AI is capable of creating back to human beings. So I can myself think of no better person in the world to do that than Sam Altman, as the founder of OpenAI, ChatGPT, first to market. First now, of course, in the world to come up with such an expansive program for proof of personhood, proof of humanity, universal basic income, all of these things. And that's one of the reasons why we are so very focused on building this consensus mechanism for the World Project. That's going to happen over the next 10 plus years. It will take over 10 years for 1 billion plus people to be able to have that basic foundation. So yeah, as far as ATMC goes, we are going up on that same tide with AI, with WorldCoin, the World Network. Of course, a lot of people out there, they see things happening in the market, they get very nervous, they get very tense, they even have meltdowns, right? Because of price fluctuations. We saw that kind of stuff. We've seen it for years in this industry, just with some of the largest names around, like Bitcoin. People are freaking out all the time, every year, every cycle, about all sorts of things, right? It's the end of the world. It's always the end of the world, according to somebody. But for us, we're looking at things on a value proposition, on the trends, on what's really happening and where things are going. We are quite adamant in our belief that AI is going to embed itself in our lives like nothing else, and that the value of being a human being will be, and being able to be, number one, to prove that you are a human being and still have your privacy, will be more and more important. And so the technology that WorldCoin has come up with through World ID, this open source type of a biomarker that is unique to every human being, and at the same time allows human beings to maintain their anonymity, their privacy, as well as the privacy of their transaction history. I think these are things that once the AI technology in and of itself becomes more and more ubiquitous, people are going to be, the demand for these solutions will be way huger. You're going to see a lot more governments go to the private organization for World ID or whatever other solutions there could be that are definitely, that can do exactly what I say, which means help you maintain privacy, your anonymity, the privacy of your transactions, still at the same time prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is a human being. Okay, the value for that in and of itself is hundreds, tens of thousands of X of the current valuation of that project as a whole. So we're seeing it more of a long-term thing. When we say long-term, like 10 years in this industry, that's a very long time. But that's where the markers are. You can't really change that. You can try and speed it up. That's what we're doing, is we're trying to accelerate it. We're trying to speed up the adoption process. We're accelerating the consensus building aspect of it with our community. So, right now, our community is still budding, but the community that we have, the first goal would be 50 million users and then 100 million users. That's just a portion, of course, of what WorldCoin is doing, but still, it's quite a lofty goal. And so we're not really wrapped. In fact, for us right now, prices right now for crypto in the last month, crazy, right? Bitcoin's up at 100K. Bitcoin goes down to whatever, right? People are going crazy and all this stuff has happened. Oh, it's the end of the world, right? For us, we're mining. So it doesn't matter if the price is higher or lower, we're still in production. It doesn't really matter to us. In fact, the longer that the price is lower, the better it is for us. Because your hash power is up here, then you can mine out more when the price is lower than when the price is higher. So, ATMC, we are linking, as far as value is concerned, linking to WLD, and then we have our own use cases. We have our own ways that we will use DeFi to allow all ATM users to have more choices, more freedom, more options, basically more ways to play with it.
That sounds really amazing, Mr. Jack. Thank you very much for that fantastic answer. So now, let us also talk about the relationship between the WorldCoin and ATMC. So, Mr. Jack, can you give us, let's say, a broader understanding as to how the WorldCoin and ATMC will work together in the future? And also, since there would be a collaboration between the two, right? How will this collaboration drive the global adoption of the DeFi ecosystem?
Well, definitely without WorldCoin, I don't think that XWorld or ATMC would even exist. So that, as we say, is kind of the foundation, the whole basis of everything that XWorld is doing. The technology that we're building for ATMC will also be the same technology as WLD. And then, as we say, we will be working inside the WLD ecosystem, the World app, to provide our services to all of the users of the worldwide community. So we'll work with World app and with World Foundation, World Chain, WorldCoin on implementing all of that stuff. Of course, part of what we're doing is helping to educate, helping to grow the community faster, and we're also wanting to add more value to the ecosystem in and of itself through more applications inside of the World app. The World app currently has over 150 different applications inside of it, like you might stand for the Apple Store or whatever like that. But we see this will be growing a huge amount. I see people in Korea, they're opening up the World app. They're going to places like 7-Eleven. They can say, oh, look, I can use WorldCoin to buy stuff at 7-Eleven. They think it's a big deal. And I guess it is, because if you can buy stuff at 7-Eleven, then you can buy it anywhere, right? You can start to make those connections. But we will be doing our best to integrate things and to work along with the overall larger community and ecosystem, not just on the technology side of things, but also on the adoption side of things, on the use cases and adding value.
Thank you very much, Sir Jack. That is something very amazing to know about how the WorldCoin and ATMC, they work really intertwined, right? Like you mentioned, basically the ATMC wouldn't even be existing without the help of WorldCoin. So that is something really nice to know. And I believe this killer combination, it can create a really big impact on the adoption of the DeFi ecosystem. Thank you so much, Sir Jack. And also another thing about WorldCoin is that we've heard that it is currently doing a lot of experimentation in global authentication and financial inclusion. So, Mr. Jack, just a question as well. Will ATMC explore similar global financial inclusion programs as well, like WorldCoin is doing?
I think we have our own initiative right now, and our hands are really quite full with what we're doing. This year, our expansion and bringing ATMC to the marketplace will be very useful, because this will be like a bedrock, if you will, to build from. We have many in the future. We have many different derivatives that will be based off of the whole DeFi market that we will be able to provide to our community based upon this foundation. So it's from A to Z. There's no question. What you're talking about, the possibilities really are infiniteless, and especially as you're aware. I mean, in this whole DeFi market, people are coming up with different things every day. But like I say, I think we're going to see a new explosion of possibilities in the next 12 months to 18 months. That's really going to blow things open, and it will make the possibilities become infinitesimal, really. So for us, we're just focusing on laying the foundation and the long-term vision, and we feel that the strength that WLD and WorldCoin bring to the marketplace is something that's backed up by real world technology and trends that are happening in real time. We believe that the whole landscape of blockchain will be changing a ton in the next year, in the next 18 months. It'll really be changing for a number of reasons. We can see that adoption by governments now is something that was not even imaginable just 3 to 5 years ago. We have people like Donald Trump, President of the United States, coming out announcing just recently, strategic reserve adoption is happening by the United States. That happens to be happening by all of the different countries around the world, without question. We see China coming back out again and starting to make noises that they want to be a part of it too. All right, they made a mistake. Obviously, we can all see very easily that they made a huge mistake a few years ago when they went totally AWOL and shut down all of the crypto mining, Bitcoin mining, and all that stuff, all of the exchanges and all and whatever like that. But hey, that's China. They got to do what they got to do. But this is something that's a trend. And when we talk about trends, we're talking about, the emperor can't change a trend. All right. It's going to happen with or without you. All right. So these are things that is really exciting for us all to be a part of. And we believe that in XWorld, we're capturing a lot of those great and exciting trends in ways that are not totally far out there, in ways that are based and that are easy for people to grab a hold of and to create benefit for themselves and for generations to come.
Very wonderful to hear. That's really massive. Thank you, Mr. Jack, for that. And actually, moving forward to another question. I know we've discussed a lot about what we can definitely expect, right? There is a big growing potential, but Mr. Jack, can you maybe spoil us a little bit from the major milestones in the ATMC's roadmap? Like, currently for 2025. And also, would there be upcoming, let's say, features in the works, developments, or big collaborations that the community should look out to in this year 2025?
Yeah, okay, great. Well, for sure. I would say that right now there's a super timing that a lot of people are going to look back on, and they're going to say, oh, wow, why didn't I have that chance? And that happened last year when we first started doing mining for WLD, our virtual mining platform, and people were able, for very low overhead, very low input, they were able to get a lot of output from WLD, from the marketplace. But right now we have the same thing happening, and that's the node program that we're launching for the ATMC listing. So this is something that we have so much demand for right now. We're even considering extending it a little bit longer, because it's available for our star level mining rigs. But there's really so much, like I said, demand from the outside market as well, and from our own community, that we've already expanded this out more. And so I would say that's the major thing right now that's going on is the node program, and we're opening that up for outsiders as well, who can newly registered miners who have no hash power whatsoever, and we'll be also looking from the outside market to raise more for the ATMC listing. And in addition to that, we've announced that the ATM listing will be happening on the anniversary of the WLD listing in July of this year. So we'll be working with more exchanges. We'll be working with the DeFi space, especially with some technology providers that have unique and even patented technologies to give access to these technologies and their applications to our community, and expand the use cases for WLD.
That sounds very exciting to hear. Once again, Mr. Jack, thank you so much for those basically future plans that you told us. I think that is something very impressive to know about how big this is going to be. And of course, the year 2025 is indeed would be a very exciting year for ATMC, for WorldCoin as well, for XWorld. So thank you very much for that. So now, Mr. Jack, let me just ask some questions which I know would favor the community a lot. So now let's talk about investment opportunities. So Mr. Jack, as we know, right, we're on the Binance Live today and there's lots of people listening with us. So let's say for those newbies out there or for those ordinary people, how can they get deeply involved in the XWorld ecosystem? And also, what would be the benefits that they can receive, they can experience if they ever choose to become part of the ecosystem as well?
Well, I think the easiest thing for people to relate to is for a very relatively low entry point. The minimum is 100 USDT. People can stake that in combination with the ATMC and USDC. They can stake that to start mining. And then the new node program that we're launching right now, the node promotion for the listing of ATMC, allows people to really increase their hash power for the ATMC. And this is something where we've seen people with no experience in blockchain or no experience in crypto, because if you're just investing in, say, for example, this crypto or that crypto, trying to find out what's going to be the new big thing, right? You're depending upon if the price goes up or down. You can get in, and I always give this example with Bitcoin. It doesn't matter what price you bought or what price you sold. Sooner or later, as long as you sold, you regret it. If you bought it at $3 and you sold it at $300, right? Maybe you were happy for a little while, but now that it's down to 80 something thousand, right? Well, you're still kicking yourself in the head if you could, because maybe if you bought it at $30 and sold it at 10,000, you're still going to be kicking yourself in the head, because it's a value proposition where the longer that you hold onto this asset, that it's expanding at a rate that's faster than inflation or whatever else. You've got normal money out there that is shrinking, right? So if you just go back in time and you say, well, what could you do to change anything? Oh, people would just say, oh, I would just buy Bitcoin, right? But then you have a situation where people can't seem to hold on to it. They can't seem to hold on to it because the price goes up and down. And when the price goes down, just like this past month, it goes down 30%. I don't know what. I didn't even pay attention to that. It doesn't matter, right? So our positioning is, first of all, WLD is a very long-term project. It's backed up by one of the biggest enterprises on the planet and one of the hugest trends out there. It is preparing to engage and to allow human beings to operate inside of a post-AGI world. AGI is artificial general intelligence. That's the next level of AI. That's when basically we can go put ourselves into the system, and then we can talk to ourselves. You have your own duplicate self that can represent us doing whatever. This is when it becomes more latent. It's not even right now. So we're positioning for the future in a way that we think that is definitely going to happen. There's no question about it, right? And in a virtual mining. So you're producing profit at a predictable rate. It doesn't matter if the price is going up or down. If the price is higher and as your hash rate goes up, then you're able to produce more profitability from your mining rig. And if same thing with the price. I mean, if the price is lower right now, our community loves that because they're making more. And so from the overall aspect of someone who's looking at this from the outside, I would say diversify. So something like this, you don't invest more than you have the ability to lose. But at the same time, once you make back your profit, your initial principal, you can take it and withdraw it out of the system, put it in your own wallet. Then you have no more people ask me, what happens if the platform shuts down? Well, I said, what happens if Binance shuts down? You know what I'm saying? Well, what happens if FTX shuts down? It happens, right? All sorts of things happen. We just had another huge hack. And so what can you guarantee people? It's hard to guarantee people anything, but you can give them correct strategies so they can reduce risk and they can increase their ability to be more profitable, like getting more diverse in the way that you're doing things. If you're not involved with something that's a reputable mining type of a return proposal, hey, think about it. For us, we think that's XWorld. We think that's WorldCoin. That's the future. Obviously, we want to create a use case scenario for ATMC that will also help to multiply that, work in synergy with that to create more angles, because that's what DeFi is about, right? That's what DeFi is about. We all know that the financial world, that the New York Stock Exchange, that the biggest money in the world, these derivatives market is like way bigger than the whole world economy put together. All the stock markets and the real estate, and the currencies in the world are just a fraction of the size of the derivatives market, right? But that's for the BlackRocks of the world, right? DeFi is putting power back into the hands of the people, and we think that that's what we're doing as well. This is a good stepping stone, a good bridge. It's an experiment, it's an experiment, but we're moving in the right direction. We want to, like I say, move it from the basic WorldCoin mining platform that we had last year into a DAO this year, so that it can be owned by the community. It can be completely transparent. We had other issues ourselves last year, because anytime you have something that there's human participation, the possibility for human error, all sorts of things can go wrong, right? Like I'm saying, I just go look at FTX. So we are very determined to try and reduce more and more human error and to make it more till we can really say, okay, this is something that can operate independent on its own. It doesn't need a finance division. It doesn't need a marketing division like Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't, there's no investment division of Bitcoin, right? there's no CEO. You can't go and say, oh, I got to find the CEO. Where's the support line for Bitcoin? Right? It doesn't exist. That's the direction that we're going. That's what we want. It's not easy to do. We ask our community to be patient with us. We are very appreciative for the great community that we have, because we have wonderful community, and we think that that's a great foundation to build off of the next level. So appreciate the support today, everyone's participation, and we, of course, look forward to doing more of this in the future as we continue to reach more milestones.
Thank you, Mr. Jack. That is something very amazing to hear directly from you, of course. And I think that can be used a handful tip for all of our listeners. Thank you very much, Mr. Jack. And with our call ending in 6 minutes, because there's a maximum 1 hour call in Google Meet. So let me just ask this very exciting question to you, Mr. Jack. So since our call is ending in 5 minutes, can you tell us more about the node plan and the expected time as to when this is going live?
Right. Well, I know that the node plan is supposed to be ending in a few days on March 10th. However, because of the very great reception from the market, we'll be making more announcements and extending that. And also, we're going to be coming up with some more plans for the outside community, because it's not, we haven't gone to the overall market on a large scale at all. It's just been something within our own community. And so definitely there will be some announcements in that, I think, within the next week. And I think that for our own community members, I would say, first of all, don't miss out yourself. That's the main thing. And then as we're moving forward, always be a first mover. I think that if you are convinced in something to the point where you can make a decision, then it's really important to take action. Don't think about things forever. Just like I say, you have certain principles. Don't go and do things that will cause you huge financial risk. However, when you identify something that you feel it creates that persuasion in your belly, we're out there evangelizing for WorldCoin. Our attitude is not, oh, we're out there, we're promoters, we're selling something. We feel that in this project that XWorld came up with a way to build consensus and to build belief in the long-term, the longevity of this project, WorldCoin. And so we see ourselves as the early days of Bitcoin, where, you know, you're out there evangelizing for a future vision, not for some get rich quick or some way to make a buck. We feel that this is technology that is necessary for human beings in the future, that's necessary for human beings right now. We believe that the anonymity and your privacy, as it's connected to your finances, as it's connected to the world, these are central issues to humanity in the future, especially as we are living and operating in a world that will be more and more influenced by AI. So I know that our time is up right now, but I've tried to keep it on the main focus of XWorld, which is creating consensus for WorldCoin and coming up with, like we say, a decentralized platform that allows the normal person to participate in all these great technologies in a way that can benefit them long term.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Jack. So, to the Crypto Panda community listening, I highly recommend you to follow XWorld on their social media links in order to be updated. So you can follow them on X, and you can also check out their website for more additional information. Thank you very much, Mr. Jack, for all the enlightening answers for today. And of course, thank you so much for all the information, all the insights you shared with us. We totally appreciate it. And I think our time is up with our call, but I would want to thank the Crypto Panda community as well for your support. Thank you very much, guys, and have a fantastic day.
Okay, thank you all too.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jack. Have a good day.
Very
Bye.
good. Thank you, Caitlin.